All right. So I always keep on trying to make this stupid video of the 50 to 140. I love this lens, and I'm going to say a couple of things about this lens. Now, it kind of got replaced by the 90 mil that I got, the f2 90 mil, and the 16 to 80 f4. It kind of got replaced by that, and also kind of got replaced by the 30 mil, and then the last one is the 18 to 50 or 18 to 55 Sigma. So this lens, this 50 to 140 2.8 to 22, I only ever use it for Catholic weddings or indoor weddings that I cannot be near the bride and groom, and I will set it in the middle of the aisle, zoom in to 140, and it's going to be on the tripod, and you can see the collar here. It's a really good collar. This is the sharpest zoom lens I have ever had. Now, I've had a Sony, 7200, which is the equivalent if you're doing full frame, which I hate doing that, but it's 7200. I've done Canon 7200 2.8, I think it was. And those are good lenses. They're sharp, right? They're good. You get these high megapixel cameras. They're perfect. But I'm going to be honest with you. I have put this on the X-T5, and you're going to see some pictures here. And I have put this on the X-T4. And I'm going to tell you, you're looking through all these photos right now. I highly doubt that you can tell which one's the X-T5 and which one's the X-T4. It's just a sharp lens. There's a couple of runway shoots that I did with this. Sharp. This one right here, I got the light perfect. Super sharp shot with the 50 to 140 all the way to, I think it was 140. And I even shot it. I shot most of these at 2.8. There's a few that I shot at 5.6, but I never go past 8. I don't need it. It is super good. 2.8 to 5. You get pretty much everything. If you're going to do a group shot with this, do not. This is too tight of a lens. Now, let's go back to what I always say in every video. You do not need more than 2 to 3 lenses total. And if you're going to invest in a system, you need to figure out which zoom you want, the 24 to 70, 7200, because the 2.8s are super expensive. And this is a red badge lens. It's expensive. It's an expensive lens. I'm going to go through my complaints here in a minute, but that it's worth the money, I think, in my mind, this lens. Now, I've talked to a couple people that have owned this lens, and they've gotten only 5 years out of the lens. Now, maybe because my lens, and I hate to say this, but I was at a wedding. I put it on top of and I never put it on a tripod and leave the tripod alone. I usually, if I'm ever going to have this lens, I drop the tripod legs down to the bottom, so if it falls, it's not that big of a deal. But for some reason, I put this right next to the gifts, thinking that nobody was going to touch this camera, and this kid ran all the way across, hit the tripod, the camera went flying out of my hand. It hit the ground and shattered the X-T3 and the mount. Okay. So with that said, I've sent it in to Fuji to get it fixed and cleaned and all that kind of stuff. But what I've heard from a couple of people is that they get about 5 years worth of usage out of and then the motors start dying, or something goes wrong with the autofocus in the lens, which I have not experienced it. I've owned this for 6 years. But like I said, 2 years ago, kid ran into it, took it into Fuji. So basically got a brand new, 50 to 140, because they fixed everything on the inside, the internals. It's the same camera. The only reason why, or same lens, and they didn't switch anything out, is a couple of reasons. And I'm kind of rotating it here. But there's a grip, there's a tripod mount on the bottom that comes loose. And it still comes loose on this one. The serial number is the same. I kind of blurred it out so you can't really see it, because I don't know. I've seen people blur out serial numbers all the time. And the last thing is there's a little dent on the inside filter, which I'm going to talk about filters down the road with lens caps and all that kind of stuff. But if you're going to get if you're going to invest, and they always say you marry the body. No, hold on, I'm sorry. You marry the lens, you date the body, right? And we're going to get to Sony down the road. But in Fuji, I think, and not having the latest and greatest, the X-T4, the X-T3 are great cameras. I'm not messing with them. The SX20, I don't remember what it is. I'm sorry. Whatever the small new form factor XH2S, the small one version of it. That's a good camera. I just recently shot with that. I don't have any pictures from it, but we just recently shot from that. I've shot on the XHS2. That one's a really good camera too. So Fuji has some really good cameras, but this lens pairs great with almost all of them. You put the tripod on the tripod mount. You hold on to that tripod with dear life. It's a great lens. Now, if you're going to take this out with you all over the place, it's heavy. It is a heavy, hefty lens, and you get tired. And so at weddings, like I said, I put this on the tripod. I have the tripod with me. I take pictures with it. If I'm walking away, I put the tripod up against the wall. I slide the tripod legs all the way down to the bottom. So there's very little center of gravity, that it's all the way to the floor. And I don't have to worry. Even if it falls, likelihood that it breaks, it's fall a couple times, and it's never broken since then. But I would say that this is one of the best lenses, the sharpest lens, the sharpest focus zoom lens I've ever come across. I really love it. It's a great overall lens. It's got OIS on it too, with the with the X-T4 and X-T5. You can go all the way down to a 30th of a second. There's going to be motion blur because people move really fast, but this is one of the sharpest lenses I've ever handheld or just had. I love it. It's a great lens. I would say if you're going to buy a zoom lens, this is definitely the zoom lens to buy in the kit. You can go buy the, what is it, 50 to 300 or 75? I don't remember the other Fuji. That's a good lens, but it doesn't have a constant aperture. But I think out of all the zoom lenses I've shot with Fuji, this is my baby. I love this. I just wish I could shoot with it more, but it's just heavy. So that's about it for this one. You have a good day, a good night, and I'll see you on the other side.